Well, greetings, everyone. I want to welcome you to today's video that's going to be talking about you're celibate, he's not. So, this is for those women who I'm speaking to. And if you are a male watching this, then if you're celibate, then this can apply to you. So if you're interested in today's topic, then keep watching. If you feel led to, you can go ahead and subscribe, like the video, and share. This way, it keeps me up on the algorithm and bringing out this information to anyone else who is in need of it. So let's get started in today's video. So, just because you're connected doesn't mean you're compatible, especially when one of you is using sex as a coping mechanism and the other is using celibacy as a path to healing. So, what you need to understand, especially you women out there, if you have been celibate, I don't care if it's for 3 months, maybe 1 month, anywhere from years, right? And now you're out there in the dating field, you're feeling like, okay, maybe let me go ahead and start meeting people. Maybe I may find someone who is compatible and on my level. So let's say you do meet someone and you come to find out that he's not celibate and what that conversation may look like. And I think when we are moving into a connection, especially when we feel that maybe this could be something that's long term. Maybe you have, the same type of values, the same type of outlook on life, because we're not just going off on chemistry. We're not just going on, oh, well, he says all the right things, because sometimes people will show up just to kind of gauge what it is that they can speak to you to make you drop down your guard. So you want to make sure that you are especially paying attention where you are in your life. And I need you to do that first and foremost, especially if you have been doing healing work while you're on this journey of celibacy. If you've been, healing from past, traumas, past relationship issues, and now you're in the mindset to really get to the place where now you want a partner who is on your same level, who is, very careful about their not only their mental and emotional health but their physical health. So you need to understand what it is that you want. You don't move into a relationship because you feel lonely. You move into a relationship because of what you feel that you can build with the person, or you have, again, the same values, or you're like-minded individuals, is that you're on the same kind of frequency. Not to say that you have to be in the same place. Maybe somebody can be a little bit higher elevated and that attracts you to them because now you want to grow into that, higher version of yourself. So let's get started. So, why celibacy is so sacred? Because it's a spiritual boundary, not just a physical one. Okay. You choose celibacy to what? Break trauma bonds, rewire how you attach, protect your womb energy, hear from God, the Most High, more clearly. You've learned to regulate your emotions without physical comfort. And sex is an energy exchange, and not everyone's energy deserves to live in your body. So now you can take a screenshot of this or maybe come back later and write it down, because I think that when you are thinking about your celibacy, just don't think of it, okay, well, I'm just taking this time off just, to rewire my body, but then you want to get back out there. You have to understand that during this time of celibacy, you're breaking trauma bonds. You're breaking even maybe that need for taking it to that next level of, giving somebody your body. Because you have to understand, when you attach to another person, you're taking on more than just, you're just taking more on than just this person's energy. You're taking on so many other things that attach to this person. If this person is dealing with karma from past, relationships, you're going to take on, not to say that you're going to take on their karma, because their karma is basically what they've built up in their lives. But what that karma, if they're still paying back karmic debt, what that does is it can stop the flow of blessings in your life. And I don't think that we're in any type of space to have our blessings blocked, especially when you've been doing the work, you've been healing, you've been probably spending that time alone to yourself, getting to know yourself more, investing in yourself, working on your body, your self-care, your mental. So you don't want somebody to come in and now you connect with them on a romantic and intimate level just to now have everything that you're striving for, everything that have come into your life to be blocked because of the attachments or things that they're still working through. So you have to learn how to protect your womb energy. If you understand anything about your body, your sacral chakra is a portal. When someone, when you have that connection on a romantic and an intimate level, you're basically opening up that portal to them. And do you understand when two souls, what I would say, connect in that type of way, that they're able to create, they're able to manifest? But if you're dealing with someone who's on a lower vibrational level who cannot, what I would say, manifest, it's now that they're coming in and they're taking your sacral energy, and now they're using that energy to go out into the world and try to manifest or get more opportunities, while now you're feeling drained because now you have allowed them to come in and take that part of energy from you, or to come in that portal that has been untouched and hasn't been, what I would say, toyed with forever, how long you've been celibate. So you are just a clean conduit, a clean channel now for anyone that's trying to come in and siphon off of you. And now you get bogged down, you get your blessings blocked because of this person coming in and not really having, what I would say, any type of, what I would say, boundaries over their sexual health. What you need to understand, and things that I've learned along my journey, a person, they can dress nice, they can keep their body fit, maybe drinking water, eating right, maybe in the gym, going hard on, creating this body that they desire. But that is basically, sometimes it's for, their own health needs or whatever, but sometimes it's a superficial type of thing, because they know the more attractive they look on the outside, the more attention that they can draw to them. But it doesn't mean that they have the same type of discipline when it comes to their sexual um, escapades. They can be very disciplined in the gym, very disciplined with what they put in their mouth, but when it comes to their sexual needs, they're all over the place. They're entertaining people maybe every week, maybe random people that they're hooking up with. And you have to understand that the outer appearance never determines what's inside of a person. And you have to get to know them and use your intuition and your discernment to understand where their mindset is. A way that you can tell the energy that a person is coming in, if they're coming in from a lustful type energy, is because their conversations will always be based around either how good you look, how sexy you are. Not to say that, those compliments you take and you understand that, of the opposite sex, they are attracted to your outer appearance. But if it's an ongoing conversation every time they meet you, and they're talking about how you turn them on, and you're so sexy, and maybe you should wear this type of clothing because it just brings out more of your curves, and it's basically always about your physical outer appearance, then that should let you know that they're leading from a lustful energy and not basically trying to get to know more about you on, I would say, a deeper level. And not just to say, what do you want in a man? Like, what is your aspirations? What is it that you want out of life? What is it that your goals are? And how are you trying to get to that? What books are you reading? What things do you do in your downtime? See, that's how you really get to know a person, of their daily activities, where their mindset is at. Even what they watch, what they read will tell you really where their mindset is. What information is a person taking in? Because what a person puts their eyes on, I said this in another video on my social media platform, a lot of times what we don't understand, the eyes is a gate. Anything that you put in your eyes is going to basically be part of your mindset, your thought process. If you see people who always watching reality TV that's always about drama, and who cheated on who, and what women is fighting this woman, and who man is sleeping with this man, that's going to let their mindset always be in this type of frame of drama, toxicity, because they, oh, I can't wait till my show come on, da, da, da. And it's like, basically, you have to understand, if you're trying to reach a higher level of yourself, and flow in a different mindset, and be around different people of I would say a lifestyle that has a better outlook on life, then you have to surround yourself through not only people who you are around, but also on what you put your eyes on. Your eyes is a gateway to the soul. So when you can tell by people's conversations what they've been ingesting just by what they say, but if they never talk about themselves, if the thing is always about you, but they're never really going deeper into themselves, that means there's things there that they may not want you to know. They may not want you to know that, that they, maybe have side pieces. They may not want you to know that they're probably still married, but maybe just separated. They're going through things. They may not want you to know something, because if you start prying deeper, then they may say something that may uncover that, or may give you some clues or some red flags. Also, when you have made the decision to be celibate, your channel is full, meaning your body is full. You don't have the, what I would say, the noise of someone else around you or their energy. And if you were someone who was a people pleaser or overextender, you would just basically use all of your energy to make them feel better about themselves, better about the relationship. You're always putting out fires. And as an empath, you feel so deeply and you love so hard. But once you remove people out of your life who no longer serves your higher purpose, you start to have more clarity around you. You start understanding more things about yourself, and the things that you like and the things that you dislike. So you're not going to self sabotage yourself anymore by people who are just coming, who want to take from you. You have to understand, being in right alignment with the correct person who's meant to be in your life, they don't come to complete you. They come to complement you. They come to basically be a complement to what you've already built within yourself. Because if a person ever leaves your life, then you would be at a deficit if you're basically putting all the weight on them to make you feel happy and whole. See, that happiness and wholeness comes within you giving it to yourself, not you waiting for someone to show up and give it to you. So that way, when people leave your life who are no longer in alignment with you, it doesn't shake your nervous system. It doesn't shake you to your core, because you've already been giving that to yourself. So this is why it's so important, especially those who are practicing celibacy. You're not tainted by anybody else's energy, especially if their energy is at a lower vibration than yours. Like I said, this last key point, sex is an energy exchange, and everyone does not deserve to live in your body. Their energy does not deserve to be there, especially when you've been working so hard on yourself. And the last point, if he is giving his body to anyone willing, but asking you for your heart, that's misalignment. If this man or woman who is going around giving themselves to other people, spreading themselves thin, you may have forgiven at maybe one point in your life a counterpart who cheated on you because you really love them, and you kind of said, okay, maybe it was a mistake. Let me try, because I really, sometimes we feel like, because we invested so much time and energy, that we need to just hold out and hoping this person will change. But if that is one of your boundaries, if a person breaks a boundary of trust with you by going and sleeping with another person, that is betrayal. And yes, I do believe people can heal from that, but you have to understand, is that something that you can put up with, or will that be something always in the back of your mind? Is this person going out and, betraying your trust again, and maybe just hiding it a little bit better? See, that's where your intuition and discernment comes in. Can you truly move forward with a person who has betrayed you, even though they can say, okay, I want to work on a connection, I want to work on the marriage, I want to work on the relationship? Can you truly move past that point in life where you now trust them? You don't have to, be looking over their shoulder at their phone, or are feeling like if they're going somewhere that they're really not where they supposedly say they are at. Because to me, that's you feeling that feeling, or maybe just feeling from past trauma that feeling caused, or that action caused you. And if you feel as though you can't move on and be at peace with this person not betraying you again, then you have to ask yourself, then what is the point of getting, or continuing to pursue something that broke you to the point of now you're going to be suspicious moving forward? Because sometimes it will break the trust in that. And I'm not saying there's a lot of people who have rebuilt marriages and relationships built off of, a situation where they did betray their partner and the marriage or the relationship worked out beautifully. But you have to understand, is that something that you can put up with? Because a lot of times we'll see people will take people back, or they will forgive, a betrayal, but now they're moving forward in that relationship, always suspicious, always, wondering where they are, or maybe calling them or texting them, and make trying to make them prove that they're still being loyal. That's energy that you're expending based on fear from a past situation. And if you can't move on from that, then you have to ask yourself, is this relationship or marriage worth saving? So now, what his sexual activity says. He may lack emotional discipline. He may use sex to avoid healing while you've been celibate to pursue it. Sex within the last 2 to 3 months can indicate he hasn't taken time to detox spiritually. And it's what you have to understand. When you have gone through a period of celibacy in your life, you have cleansed your energy of any other energies that were lying within your energy field, whether that was a past boyfriend or husband, or wife, for those men who are on here watching. And so you have to understand, have they really cleansed their energy field? Are they in the mindset of understanding what it means to be, what I would say, semen retention, not just going out here and sleeping with random people because they do not know how to express their feelings in a way without it being led to a sexual connotation. It's the only way that this person can show emotion is through their sexual nature, through them having intercourse with a woman, or a man having intercourse with a woman. Can they basically express their feelings and really be vulnerable in that conversation or in that moment, to let you know where they're coming from? Because I'm sure, we've all been through betrayal, we all been through hurt or whatever that is. But can we move forward in a healthy, more mature way without it coming into the place where now we don't want to subject each other to our past, what I would say, our past sexual history? Because when you lay down with the person, you're not just laying down with their body, you're laying down with their history, you're laying down with the energy that they even walk in. If they have anger issues, if they have low self-esteem issues, if their energy is toxic, if they're always in a woe is me victim mindset, that's who you're laying down with, because that is who that person is at the core. That is the energy that that person carries. And you have to understand and know, when, especially when you're trying to get to the next level, to know this person, and not just on what he does for you outwardly, but how does he command his life? What does his life look like as he moves through life? How does he handle challenges? How does he handle certain things that come up in his life? Is he a good, what I would say, a good steward over his finances? Is he a good steward over his mental health? Does he not really get into, or maybe be around a lot of people who are low vibrational? Because a lot of times people can be like, oh, well, that's my friends, they're toxic. Yeah, they sit around here and they bed a lot of women, or these men, these women bed a lot of men. And you say, well, why are you hanging out with them? Because if that's not you, then why would you even be around that type of energy? And it could sometimes even be family members. Sometimes you even have to set boundaries with family members if they're operating in toxic energy. So what they say, birds of a feather flock together. So why would you flock around people who are promiscuous in their sexual, with their sexual nature, who just, want to go out and randomly meet people and sleep with them? Is it some type of, what I would say, ego that they need to be stroked? Sometimes people want to be around certain energies who attract certain women, because maybe they're not on the sleeping with people, but maybe they need that validation. Maybe they want to be around people who can attract women to them, or men to them, so this way they can feel as though, oh, well, yeah, this person, they like me, and so I just hang around my friends because they be around a lot of women, so maybe I'm looking for a woman as well. So you have to understand, the company that people keep is basically where their mindset is. Because if you can't go out and really look for a woman who is of a certain, what I would say, a certain energy, because if these people are low vibrational, the only thing that they're going to attract to them is the same type of energy, those low vibrational women who don't mind one night stands or multiple partners. So why would you even understand why these people would put themselves in that type of situation? Because regardless of what their friends draw to them, or even what family members draw to them, that is not of a vibration that you want to be in. So if he carries the energy from previous partners, again, has he really cleansed himself, by basically saying, you know what, I'm gonna just basically stay to myself. I'm not gonna entertain. I'm not dating right now. I'm just gonna take this time and really work on myself. And then we have to understand, have, you know, each individual, depending on who was your last partners, have you went and got tested to make sure that you are physically, clean, that you're not sabotaging your own health, because a lot of times there's certain things that may not show up that you can be walking around with, or maybe there are things that can show up that you want to make sure you go and get that checked out. And then you have to come to the conclusion when it is time for you to now say, okay, this is the person for me. We are on the same type of mindset, we have the same type of vision going forward in life, so we want to take you know this connection to another level. We're not seeing anyone outside of this connection, and now we are headed into a full-blown commitment, right? So with that being said, there's going to be a time where it is going to be talking about now having that romantic, intimate discussion. So, with that being said, because people can come to us and they can lie. A man can tell you he hasn't had sex in the last year or two, and he just done had sex last week, okay, or if not the day before, whatever. Even though y'all could have been in a connection for whatever, but you don't know. People will lie to you, especially if you're in long distance connections. You don't know who that man is hooking up with. You don't know if he's going back to his ex and they still have some type of friends with benefit type of situation, or the wife or whatever. Maybe they're just going through a little separation, but you know how some people feel, you always mine, regardless of who I'm in a relationship with, a connection with, I can still always come back and get that. This is the mentality of some people. So you have to understand and know within yourself, whether you've been dating this person for 6 months, 8 months, or a year, when you come to the conclusion that you want to lay down with this person, before you do that, are you having the conversation, let's get tested? Because even though that may be not a popular conversation, but if you're truly about your not only mental health but your physical health, then that should be the next topic of conversation before he wants to take you out on some type of vacation or trip. We can't get caught up as women and, oh, he wants to take me to the Bahamas, or he wants to take me to Jamaica, or wherever that is. And we get so excited about it, and oh yeah, he's going to spend money on me, and we're going to this 5-star hotel, or wherever that is. But are we so giddy over that, over, okay, before we make that move to go to this, exclusive nice vacation, are we gonna go get tested? Because see, men think, and it comes to the what I would say, to the mindset, that if I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take who they're calling you their woman, and you calling them their man, you calling them your man, it's going to be like, okay, well, I know that he's not taking me over to this place we're going on a vacation for, let's say 4 days, 3 or 4 days, and he's not going to expect to sleep with me. I mean, that is unrealistic for you to think that, especially if he's spending money. So now you got to say, okay, but let's go and get tested. Because if not, if that's something that he pushes back on, oh, well, I already got tested, this time, and I got the results or whatever, and I don't think we need to do all that, then that should be a huge red flag. Because he can, or she can, basically say, well, I've been with you all this time, and where have I been? Only going to work, and then I come to see you, yada, yada, yada. But you don't know all of that. and to protect yourself, to use really good judgment when it comes to your physical health, you have to say, well, if we can't go and get this thing done, then me and you can't go on a vacation together. Bottom line, because he's already showed his hand. What are you afraid of? Because now it's telling me something more, what I would say, more telling about you. And maybe even before you get, what I would say, invested in this connection, maybe once you come to the term of this connection is going somewhere and you want to make that commitment with this person, the next thing that you need to ask this person before you really get full blown with your heart into it, because a lot of times when people get their heart caught up in relationships, they are so privy to let down their guard in that area because they feel like, oh, well, he has been consistent. I don't feel like, it's nothing wrong for me to, sleep with him. Maybe, we can still use protection, but protection is not 100% uh for what fail proof against, you know, um STDs or something that you can't get rid of. So you have to ask yourself and not let your emotions override your intellect when it comes to having that conversation. And this is what I would say, maybe in getting into that conversation where y'all agree that, okay, this is something I feel like it's going somewhere, yada yada yada. Maybe you need to have that conversation. Well, being that we're going to be exclusive, we're not going to see anybody, when we get to that level where we want to be intimate, are you opposed to going to get tested before we make that move, and see what their reaction is? And don't have this conversation over the phone. Please don't have this conversation over the phone, because you need to see this person's reaction. You need to see their body language. You need to see how quick they answer that question. Do not have this conversation over the phone. This needs to be a conversation where you're both sitting down and able to see the reaction of that person when you bring up that conversation. Okay? And when a man can't go a few months without sex, ask yourself, is he looking for love or escape? Because if you've been celibate for 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, and he can't go a month without sex, that should tell you something. It should tell you that maybe he has spread himself so thin in the past where now what I would say, his nervous system or whatever is used to having this type of activity, and when he doesn't get it, it makes him maybe irritable. It makes him just lash out or whatever that is. So you need to understand and know people's cycle when it comes to when they haven't had sex that they're used to having, in a what I would say, a consistent manner. If they're consistent with having sex once a week and they don't get it for 2 or 3 weeks, you can tell that their cycle is off, because this is what they're used to having. Now they meet you, you're celibate for all this time. Now they got to put up this front, if that's what they're doing, to make you believe that they haven't been involved with anybody for a period of time. And then you got to understand, if that's the case, then understand if this person was consistent with calling or showing up or whatever, and now again, it's around the conversation. You will know when a person is leading with lust based on the conversation, because what a lot of men want to throw out there, especially if we women have had children and they know that we're no longer virgins, they want to, what I would say, and it's not to say intimidate, but they want to basically sit here and say, well, it's not like you're a virgin. It's not like you don't already done had children. We grown adults. So if we grown, then why we just can't, just come together and just love on each other? Like, what's wrong with that? Like, you acting like, like I gotta sit here and wait it out for me and you to be intimate, when we both grown. See, they want to basically tell you to let down your guard, let them into something that's so sacred, and come in and just take from you without, getting really to know you. And you're basically telling them, wait a minute, I've been without this for this many years. Just because I'm not a virgin, just because I've had kids, don't mean I'm just going to sit up here and just lay down with you just because I'm an adult. I'm an adult, but I'm a basically an adult who uses their intuition and uses their intellect to make right decisions for myself. And if you feel that the statement that you just said about me, not being a virgin gives you supposed to give you access to a part of my body that I feel is sacred, and you want to kind of project your frustrations onto me, then I don't think we're aligned. You just have to be very blunt and cut stuff off from the get go, because they're basically telling you, well, why are you withholding when you are, it's not like you're a virgin, you done had children, so why I gotta sit here and wait? Because I make the choice and the determination when I lay down with a person, and if it's not within the time that you think it should be, then guess what? Then you're not the one for me. Bottom line. So maybe you just need to go ahead and move on to find someone who will fulfill those needs in that area, because I'm not the one. And don't back down in that. I don't care how good they look, what type of job they have, what type of car they drive, because you have so many different people who can look the part, can be the person who you think, oh, this is the man of my dreams, this is the woman of my dreams, but they have no integrity, they have no character. They're basically just want to be out there and see how many people they can lay up with. And some people, and let me say this, you got some people who are so patient, they will take time to break down that. They see you as a challenge, especially if you have been celibate. They want to be that person to come in and break that celibacy, knowing that they don't want anything long term. Other than to say, yeah, I was the one who came in and broke that celibacy, and now they're on to the next. Not to say they still won't stay in connection with you, but the whole thing of it is if you're looking for this relationship to lead to marriage or to commitment, you got to understand at what point in that relationship are they going to step up to the plate and give you that. Because it can't be, well, once we sleep together, then no. If I'm important enough to you without you even having touched me, and you see the value in me, you see what you see the type of person I am, and if you see that and you hold that as rare and valuable, you gonna want to lock that down. You're not going to be selfish. So, oh, well, let me see how good you are first, in the bedroom, and then we can discuss that later. No, because that's just some person that's just coming to play in your energy and play with your body. And we're not doing that. So now, what you need to ask yourself is, can I trust that he's willing to honor the sacredness of my journey? Will he respect my celibacy or pressure, guilt, or tempt me to break it? Does he understand sex as more than physical, or is it just a performance for him? Am I feeling lonely or connected when I think about sleeping with him? Because you have to ask yourselves, when you are thinking about crossing that line with that person or going to that extent of him, now, you know, giving yourself over to that person, you have to ask yourself, for what reasons am I doing this? Am I doing it because I feel like it's time for me? I feel he's the person or she's the person. I feel that it will it will bring us closer together in what we've already built as far as where the relationship is now. Or am I feeling like, oh, well, I better go ahead and sleep with him because I don't want him to feel like I don't love him or her, and I better go ahead and, because now I know it's been a minute now and he's probably getting, anxious, and I just want him to know that, I do love him, or whatever that is. Because you got to be true to yourself. Because this act is never about no one else. It's about, yes, it's about your pleasure. It's about you feeling good about yourself. And let me just state that, because if it's basically you saying, I'm ready, I'm ready to take it to this next level. Yes, I'm ready. We got tested or whatever, but you also have to be ready for the aftermath of that, to understand that if you lay down with the person, they have not made the commitment that you wanted, or any type of commitment leading to what you desire out of that connection, then you have to understand, even in the in the situation that I do lay down with this person and give my body over to them, that they can still not turn good on their promises as far as the connection. They can now change up their energy. They can change up whatever. And I have to understand that I cannot allow that to make me feel as though I've betrayed myself. Because if this is something that you're going into knowing, I'm going in because it's something that I want. I want to feel loved. I want, not even to say I want to feel loved, because the love comes should come from you, but just say you just have that desire. You want in that moment to feel good. You want in that moment to interchange, or that energy between the two people. But you have to understand, when you make that decision to do that, that you have to also understand the consequence afterwards. And it could be beautiful. It could be something that leads into a more loving, um connection, a more solid connection, a more grounded connection, that is going to be something that is longevity and long term. But then you have to understand that even in the interim that you do make that decision, it could be something that just goes south, that you feel like, okay, but I don't want you to beat yourself up because you've done that and this person didn't turn good on what they said they wanted out of that connection. You have to understand, when you make that decision to break your celibacy, it is never about the other person. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it because you want this, and you are already, what I would say, you're already okay with the outcome. And that's how you have to look at it. You're already okay with the outcome. You're not basically sitting here regretting, oh, I should have never slept with him, or I should have never, slept with her. Now I done broke my celibacy, and now they're playing games with me. Now they're changing up. They don't text me as much as they used to. Or maybe they even text you. Maybe now it's become where now, it's basically now they want it, more often. And then you got to say, wait a minute now. We did this, but that don't mean that I just want to keep doing this, as frequently as they may want to. You have to even set a boundary once you've broken that celibacy, to say, okay, well, if we are having this sexual relationship and connection, whatever, then when are we going to step into that part that you desire in that connection, that you already told them, as you decided that this was something that you were going to move forward with? Because you're not supposed to be sitting waiting for somebody 4 and 5 years for them to make a commitment to you. And if you're looking for marriage, you have to be very honest with yourself, not just with that other person. You have to be honest with yourself of what you want. How long will you, if you want marriage and you stated that's what you want in the connection, how long does it take for this person to be and they want the same thing? How long does it take for them to say, I'm going to marry you, or, give you an engagement ring? How long does it take? Then once you get that engagement ring, then how long does it take for y'all to set the date? Because those are easy things. And I know in this day and age, people just want to have this grandiose wedding, and they want to just show people, and I'm not saying, I'm not taking that away from anybody, because if that's your dream and that's what you want, then go for it. But what I'm saying is that when a person understands and knows what they want, and know that you are the person that they want in their life, they're not going to waste time making sure that happens. When people take time to, basically what I say, because of whatever their reasons are they really serious about it? Is there other factors that's weighing on it? Maybe it could be, well, if this person hasn't gotten divorced yet, so they have to go through that. They are, they finances ain't in order. So you have to ask yourself all these questions, especially when you're getting into a connection with somebody. Is their life set up for them to now pursue you? Just because somebody's attracted to you, just because somebody falls in love with you, doesn't mean that they're now ready to give you the life that you want or you deserve. Because you should not enter into a connection with somebody who's still struggling, somebody who's still not sure of what they want. Because if a man, and let me say this, if a man is pursuing a woman because he truly wants this woman in his life, he's going to make sure all of that BS that was in his life from previous relationships or marriages is done and over with. Because any man that's pursuing another woman because he's looking for a wife or he's looking to settle down, he should already been divorced. His finances should be already in order, because what he is basically saying is, I'm coming in to provide for you. I'm coming in to be a partner to you. I'm coming in as not only a provider, but a protector. And I know in this day and age, you got all these scenarios going on about, oh, well, what is the woman bringing to the table? And I ain't nowhere in the Bible heard the Most High say anything about the woman is supposed to be provider. It says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Most High. So when he's looking for a wife, he's going to obtain favor from God for now coming into your life and basically coming now to provide for you, to protect you. And now God will bless him with abundance. He will bless him with prosperity. He will bless him with everything he needs because he's coming in that energy. He's not coming in off of, oh, well, I don't have this set up yet. I don't have that set up. And I got this going on and I got all this child support and things. So right now I'm struggling. A man should not come to you saying he wants a long-term commitment and he's struggling financially, because that nowhere makes sense. And we as women have for so long have taken that as, oh, well, I'm just helping him get on his feet, I'm just helping him to get established. He should already be that when he comes into your life. Now when y'all are living life together in union and something happens within the union, of course you as the wife is going to step up and help out, because that's your husband, that's your counterpart. You're going to do whatever needs to be done to make sure to keep the family afloat in the times that there is something going on, maybe a sickness, maybe a loss of a job. That's when you come in and use your gifts and your wisdom to basically continue to keep that household running smoothly, not on no other type of crap that people want to throw at us and make us believe that that is the will of the Most High. So it says your body is not a reward for a man being consistent. It is a temple. And if he's not bringing you peace, he's not ready for your presence. And that's the bottom line. If you got to work, oh, well, yeah, he needs help because his kids, and the wife is doing all of this stuff and she doesn't want him to leave and da 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 da. And now he's got to go through all of this stuff financially because now she's mad because he's moving on. That should never come into your atmosphere. That conversation should never come out of his mouth about what obligations he had. Now, if he has children and he's already had a divorce or whatever, and you are okay with him being, you know, um, a man who has had a family before, and you're not opposed to, dealing with a man who has children, then that's fine. But you have to understand he should not come to you expecting you to deal with his financial obligations that he already created outside of a life with you. Do you understand that his bills and his financial situation should already be in order, where if he's paying child support, that's already done. If he's paying alimony, that's already done. It has nothing to do with now him pursuing you, and he's able to provide for you the lifestyle that you desire, not you having to now provide and help out. That's crazy, and we've accepted that for so long, and it's time to change the narrative of that situation, because that was never God's intention for us as women. So this is my closing thoughts. If he's really meant for you, he will slow down. A healed man will be curious about your journey, not offended by your boundaries. You are not asking for too much, you're asking for alignment. It's okay to walk away if the vibration doesn't match. Guard your heart, women. And I would say the same thing for men. Guard your heart when it comes to these people coming into your lives who want to project onto you what they feel as you should do in order to make the relationship work. No, the relationship should work because we are in alignment, not because I'm sitting here trying to help you get on your feet and I'm meeting you. No, we're not doing that. If you're not already prepared for me when you come, then you're not the one for me. It's okay to walk away if the vibration doesn't match. You've waited years to reconnect to your body with love. Don't let a man or woman who's still acting out their wounds be the one you give it to. So when people, a lot of times they're coming to you and they're still acting out their woundedness or their trauma from past relationships. This is why they can't open up. This is why they don't show no emotion. And you're trying to get people, at one point maybe in your life, oh, will you just talk to me? Will you just tell me what's going on? You should not have to pull that out of an emotionally intelligent man, because he's going to let you know how he feels. Maybe you may not like it, but if a man is emotionally mature and in his intuition, which is the feminine side of him, because he can knows how to connect to his intuition to basically speak his feelings without feeling that he's not masculine, because we have to understand we both carry feminine and masculine energy. And when a man is in his feminine energy, that just means his intuition is turned on. He's able to express himself. He's able to not be shut down because, just because he feel like, oh well, that's too feminine for me to talk about my emotions, oh it's too feminine for me to cry if I feel hurt. No, that's basically you expressing yourself. That's you releasing. Do you understand? Tears are released, and the reason why some men don't cry is because they feel it's too much of a woman's emotion, when God has given us both emotions. When a woman is in her masculine energy, she's in that energy because now she's creating, she's doing things as far as working. Maybe she's the boss of her business, the CEO of her business, and she's doing things that's in a masculine energy, but doesn't mean that she's doesn't know how to tap into that feminine energy, that softness, that part of her that makes her, who she is. So we don't berate a man when we see him expressing himself. We basically celebrate that, because some men don't know how to express themselves, and then we got to pull teeth to basically ask certain people like, well, how do you feel? Why do you never talk up? Why do you never say how you feel about, certain things? Because they have been so emasculated by some women who have shut them down and told them, oh, you're a bitch, or you're this, you're a simp, you're this and that. So now when it comes time for them to express their emotions, they shut down because they feel as though they got to always be in their masculine energy. They can't never pull out that feminine side that expresses themselves. And that's a lie from the pit of hell, that a man can't express himself through tears. A man can't express himself through his emotions, because that's what makes him part of who he is. He is still in his alpha male energy, but he needs to tap into that intuition. So now he can let that woman that he loves knows that this is what I feel about you. This is how I care about you. And this is how I'm going to show up for you. So I hope that this has helped you. I'm going to be creating, probably within the next week or so, a deeper part of this on my Patreon page. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and sign up for it. I will let you know when I do drop the link, because it's probably not going to be included in this video, but it is going to be more detailed. I probably will have a guide, connected with this type of, video, because I believe as women, and as and men, we also need to understand, especially if we have been practicing celibacy, we need to understand, what that means. And when we do start to venture out and meet people, we want to take time and slow down and get to learn about one another, not just be so in a rush because we've been duped by other people and feel like, oh well, I gotta rush this thing, no, take your time. Whatever God has for you is for you. If that person that you're talking to is for you, they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere, but they want to be with someone who is truthful, not someone that's trying to rush them into the bedroom, not someone who is emotionally avoidant, who doesn't want to, avoid certain conversations, situations. So the first person you got to be honest with is yourself. What do you want when it comes to you now connecting with somebody romantically? And when you take the time to understand what your wants and your needs are, and you set the proper boundaries in your life, then the Most High will bring that to you. But you got to be honest with yourself. You can't move because of loneliness. You can't move because, oh, I'm getting older. Oh, I just need to settle down. And, oh, when is the right person going to come into my life? The more that you work on yourself and the more vigilant you are by pouring into yourself and keeping on your grind about what it is that you want out of life, out of nowhere, God will just send someone, and you'll be thinking about something totally different, and He will send someone that will pop up in your life, and where they will have the qualities and the mindset and the, what I would say, the spirit that you want and you desire, and you be like, wow, this can't be real, this person can't be real. And there's a God is saying, yeah, they're real. because I heard you, I saw you, I saw I saw how you've been treated in the past, and I see what you are now trying to rebuild your life. And I'm going to send you someone who is on your level, who is on that vibration, who is not trying to come and play games in your life, who is 100% solid. But you needed to get in alignment with who you are before you can attract who you need, or who you desire to come into your life. That's the way it works. Sometimes we're so busy we're looking outwardly. We're always looking outwardly. Oh, I need this person to validate me. I need this person to see me. I need this person to help me. I need this person to, tell me I'm beautiful, tell me I'm handsome. So we always looking without instead of within. The Bible says the kingdom of heaven is within. Everything he says that I've given you is within you according to life and godliness. So everything that you need, it's already within you. But if you don't tap into that first, and you're looking for everybody else on the outside of you to basically show you who you are, love you, and do all this, but you have not poured that into yourself, you can't attract somebody outside of you first. So when you start internalizing who you are and what you like, and cleaning up your life and healing from all those past things that have been done to you, now what happens is now you start being in alignment and vibration to attract in who the Most High has always had for you. You just wasn't in alignment to receive them, because if they would have came into your life and the vibration and energy you were in before, you would have missed out because you were not a divine match. So again, I hope this helps you. And if you have any comments, please leave them in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And have a great day.